joined now by the men who were on that helicopter and rescued Amanda Eller. Chris Berquist, Javier Cantellops, and Troy Helmer. Good to see you guys. And Javi, let me start with you, because as I understand it, as the search for Amanda went on for days and weeks, you had this hunch. You had this hunch about where she was and how she was doing. What was that hunch?
I just felt that that she was alive, man. You know, I was pretty much telling myself or telling everybody, you know, if we haven't found her and we haven't smelled her, then that's because she's on the move and she's moving out, and she's just way farther out than we think she is.
And we've heard about the conditions that she had to endure. How much of her survival, Javier, is because of who she is?
I think a lot of her survival has to do with who she is, her experience in the forest itself, her knowledge of the vegetation, but in reality, her physical therapy, you know, her expertise in the human anatomy. I think that her injuries, she was able to treat them and treat herself and pretty much be able to assess her situation out in the field and be able to move forward with those injuries.
Chris, what do you think the most important decision she made was that kept her alive?
Deciding that she wanted to stay alive, absolutely. And the body can do a lot, but the will and the spirit can do a lot more. And she was definitely out there long enough that somebody with a lesser spirit to live may not have made it out. That and staying by water definitely helped us out a lot in finding her.
And Troy, spotting her is one thing, but actually getting to her is another. Talk about the challenges of the actual rescue, let alone, I heard you guys were dealing with wild boars. I mean, all sorts of challenges. What was it like?
Yeah, there's definitely wild boars. There was a bunch of obstacles. The first thing they did was drop us off on the opposite side of the gulch, and we couldn't get down to her. So the helicopter pilot, Pete, had to come back and pick us up and drop us off on the other side. And they just happened to drop us off right on my hunting trail. So I knew the layout, I knew the place. And we were doing leapfrog through a bunch of the alui ferns, and then we got to a spot where I was actually telling everybody to go right, and she was actually on the left, but we made a little circle, came over the top, and dropped right down on top of her.
Javier,
it was pretty awesome.
We've seen this video, Javier, and the emotions are palpable just to us, and I know that you knew Amanda before all of this. When you're hugging her and she's hugging you guys, what's she saying? What was that moment like for all of you?
It was pure elation for us, I got to tell you. It was a surreal moment, you know, for all three of us in the helicopter. We went way past cloud nine, and then getting there and actually hugging her and being a part of it. You know, actually Troy and Chris, they had never met Amanda before. That was actually the first time they'd ever been with her, and I'd known her before. So actually, just wrapping my arms around her was just. It was the greatest moment I can say of my life. There's no doubt about it.
Well, she's lucky that it was you three guys who are out there looking for her. So congratulations on.
She did say her. Oh.
Go ahead.
She did say her prayers were answered though too.
Of course they were. All right. Chris, Javier, Troy, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.